Previously on The Bald Engineer.
Alright, I'm gonna do it the way Geek said, because he said just put it on the board. You go plop, plop, plop. Ooh. No! Right here. Yeah, so. So now I'm going to open it up to help cool. Ow. Really? You can't put caps into the resistor box. That's just ridiculous. Oh, right. Ooh, I don't have that part. Ha, 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 ha. Okie dokie, now we can get started. Oh, whoops. How's that? That's probably a little easier to hear. I'm just doing a couple of social media things and then we're going. Oh, you know what I did? I know what I did. I unmuted the mic during the VTR and then I muted it again when it was done because I was distracted. Oh well. Oh well. One day I'll figure this out. I've only been doing this for 3 years now. Actually, as of might actually be as of sometime this week was 3 years ago when we started doing this. Huh. Or wait. Yeah, well, this is going into the third year because it was 2020. So, hey, Linux guy. Hey, mediation. 48K. Good to see you, Casper. Nice to see you, Rotten Treats. I actually thought you were trying to say that it was too loud, but I realize now that is not what you were saying. But that's okay. All right, so I'm totally pulling a bait and switch on this one. The thumbnail clearly shows this a Macintosh Classic 2 and its floppy drive because I'm going to show you the SE working except for the floppy drives. And so at this point, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 floppy drives that don't work. Last night, I was looking for a last minute, step-by-step guide of how to lube and clean them. And I had the realization that the Classic and the Classic 2 are super drives and not 800Ks. So I'm less interested in getting the super drives working because I'm trying to finish this SE. So I think we are going to work on the super drives. We are going to work on the Classic 2, and we may get to the disk drive, but I just think it's funny because I didn't realize until like right before I went to bed that what I said we were going to do and what I want to do are not going to be the same thing. Hey, Baloo, good to see you. Okay. Me last checks. Okay. Whoa. I don't want that visible. Okay. So let me show you the cool part. I got to get a power cable. Plug this in. Switch to here. Focus the camera. I think I have to drop this to 60 frames. Or the shutter speed, I mean. Okay. Kind of zoom out so you can actually see this is real. And watch, this is going to totally fail. Where's the switch? Oh, I don't have the mouse. Wait. You know, Apple Desktop Bus is not actually hot plug, I've read. Oh, that's because I switched keyboards. That's why. This one won't work for now. Actually, I don't even need the keyboard. In fact, I'm not going to plug the keyboard in. I had the keyboard where the cable's gone bad. So anyway. All right. Ta-da. So this is the same. This is the SE we took apart last week, and we got it to the point where it would show the basically the icon saying that it couldn't find the disk. And now it boots, and it thinks it has 3 hard drives. So I have a drive which basically just has System 6 on it, and then I have a drive image called MacPack, which has a ton of games and other stuff. And then I have one that I call Baldi's 1 gig, which is just a 1 gig image. And it's got basically a selection of the things that I would want to use. So, well, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted this one. So she's up and running. I have a BlueSCSI plugged into the hard drive port, and it is working great, which I'll show next, actually. Yeah. So, okay. So that's working. I did try to get the serial port to work with the Wi-Fi 9600 modem, but I'm not sure that I have the right cable yet. So I got to figure that out. And then just to show this off, I am going to open this up in a little bit, I think, but I want to work on the Classic 2 today. So let's do this. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Cocoa Pop, shimmy, shimmy, rock. All right. And then now I can bring this back up and bring this back up. And we don't need this because I'm not recording. So hidden in the back, actually, I think I will do a zoom, zoom, zoom. So back here, I have a 3D printed bracket, and the BlueSCSI's connected to that. And then I have the SD card right there, which the only thing I don't really like about this bracket is I have to use tweezers to get the card out, which isn't super painful, but it is kind of like, come on, really? So, okay. So this was the computer we worked on last week. Internal SCSI is working. The two disk drives are not working. One of them will not let the computer boot at all, and then the other will boot. However, it won't read a disk, and so I suspect at least one of the drives we can get to work again. But, like I said, that's not what I really want it to work on. The next thing I want to work on is this guy. Where did I put it? Oh, it is this one. So I have, this is the Classic 2, not the Classic that we took apart that is battery bombed. This one's in good shape, and somebody actually has already replaced the battery with a newer one, which So what I thought I'd do on this one, I've already taken the drive stack out. So what I would like to do is, so I've already got the drive stack out. The one thing I wanted to do is try to see if the hard drive works, and then I wanted to plug in a BlueSCSI image to see if that will boot. And then I realized I don't have a BlueSCSI built, and my other one is already mounted in the other computer. So we're going to build up a BlueSCSI really quick. It only take a few minutes to solder. So, but I thought what we could at least try is I'm going to plug in the hard drive and just see if the hard drive will spin without the disk drives. Wait, I already know this won't work, don't I? So I think I've already tried this before. Okay, well, we're going to try it anyway. Because what I noticed with the SE is the disk drive would prevent the computer from booting, even with the BlueSCSI. And then if I had no disk drive plugged in, the computer still wouldn't boot. And so I'm not sure what the requirements are for the disk drives. But I thought I would try one more time and see if this guy will boot from its hard drive. And if not, then we're going to build up a BlueSCSI and try to get it to boot from that. Because I need this to boot so we can test if the drives work. See, originally, my plan was I was just going to plug these drives into the Mac SE. However, I didn't realize it's a super drive. So I can't do that. All right. Refocus. Cool. And then we need some power. Put that back where it belongs. Turn this off. Ugh, this is a terrible cable. It's upside down. Terrible cable for this. It's an otherwise fantastic cable. All right, I'll do this by footsies, and I do want my glasses because I've got the cover open. Which I'm not sure where they're at, so I'm going to open up these new ones, which I need to print a holder for. Which we will do in the near future. Okay. There we go. Now we will power on. No explosions. Oh, I forgot to do this. Okay, it's trying to spin the drive. I can hear the heads moving, which the other day we did not have that. Okay, so, okay. So what I want to try now, so I'm getting the disk question mark. So what I want to try now is plug this disk drive back in. So the hard drive's plugged in, we didn't go anywhere. I'm going to plug the disk drive in and see if we go anywhere. And if not, then maybe I will pull the drive out of the SE because I know that drive allows the computer to boot. Huh. I hear a lot of activity from one of the drives. Did we not turn this on last week? Because, okay. That's interesting. So we got the Mac icon for just the Mac guy for just a second, and then it went to the disk. And I can hear it trying to do something. I hear a drive clicking. I think the disk drive thinks it has a disk right now. Okay. What do I want to do then? So I think BlueSCSI is the right answer. Because then we can eliminate the hard drive as a potential problem. What I should have done is I should have made a bootable system disk. What do you have to do to make a bootable system disk? Can you just copy System 6 to a disk and it'll boot? Because we can do that really easily. Or do we build up a BlueSCSI and try to boot off of that instead? Let me double check that I don't have a pre-built one. I don't think well, I have a built one, but it's broken. The intern shorted it out and burned up one of the traces. I guess we could just fix the trace real quick. It wouldn't take that long. It'd be faster than building from scratch. Where's the BlueSCSI box? There it is. I think that's what we're going to do. Just use a floppy emu. Will it... Let me think. I'm thinking of the SC. The SC doesn't like booting from the floppy emu. At least the image that I have. What can I do? The new version, though... Okay, you know what? I know we can. I forgot. The new version, you can select which hard drive image you want. So we can do that. Let's at least do that first as a next step. Okay, where's the floppy emu SD card? Oh, I don't... No, yeah, it's this one. Where's the... No. It's this one over here. I took it off right before the stream because I was like, oh, I don't want to boot with this. So what did I do with it? It has my cable. I somehow have 3 floppy emus and only 2 ribbon cables for them. I don't know how that happened. All right. And it doesn't have an SD card either. What the farts? Leave it on my desk. No, it's not here. Let me think. I was using it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, because I know what I did. I took it out and I was using it with Basilisk and forgot about it. Okay, so let's throw this in here. 7-Eleven. What the freak? You don't know anything about a Mac. Yeah, I've learned. Floppy emu does do Mac hard drives, but you need an SE or later, I think. Anything before the SE, so the 128, the 512, and the Plus need an init in order to read it. This might be what I'm thinking of, is that those computers may not be able to boot from the floppy emu. But you're saying just use the... Okay. I see where you're going. Yeah, that's what we should do. Use it as a disk image, because I've got a System 2 disk, which oh, that's right. This won't boot System 2. That's what I tried to do the other day. Yeah, I don't have a System 6 disk is the problem, which is what I said I was thinking of doing. Okay, I'm going to go back to the hard drive image because I'm going to see if that works, since this is a classic and they're a little bit newer. So what we'll do is over here, I don't know if any of these disk images are what I want. So what I'm going to do is go to my retro folder where I did put some disk images that I like. Wait, let me think. No, the disk images I want to boot from, the bootable disk images are on the other card. So I have to copy them from here. Let's see. Did I put them? Nope. I put them into HDDs, and I should have the System 6. Yep. This is going to take a minute. So we'll copy. I'm just going to call this, I'm going to rename this to HD00, even though that name is kind of pointless. No, I'll do it after it's on the card. Do you want to copy? Yes. ISO image on an HD CD can even, I don't know what anything you just said, because that makes no sense for a Mac, classic Mac. They cannot boot from CDs, period, emulated or otherwise. Copy. Okay, well that's copy. I'm going to figure out how to plug this in. I think the right answer though is we should just do the. We should just fire up, or we should just get the soldering iron going and get the BlueSCSI repaired. Actually, while that's copying, let me see. So that's the one that's not ready. Okay, so this is the one I burned up. And I can see if I can figure out where that trace goes, which I could use the other board to find it. Oh, does this one have the SD card slot on it? No. Okay, I don't want to solder this today. It's not hard, but that takes a lot longer than the time I have. I guess I could just remove the other one because it's not screwed in. It's just it's so nice to have it done. All right, let's take all this stuff out. Okay. Because, well, anyway, the reality is, though, actually, I just realized if we get this to work, it doesn't matter because all I need this computer to do is boot long enough to know if the floppy drive is working. I was curious if the hard drive would give us anything, but I guess it's not going to. And so at the moment, we're just trying to figure out a test bench for the hard drive. Okay, so let's go back to the SD card. Rename this to HD00 HDSys6.dsk. Change that. So I had a really fun experience with my floppy emulator. I flashed the newest, latest firmware, and I was all excited because Steve has done a fantastic job. It has always done a fantastic job. But his latest revision, you don't have to do this two-step process anymore. Except every time mine would boot, it'd say wrong CPLD. And then I found a sequence where I could get it to kind of work. And I was like, hey, well, that's a bad sign. Okay, so this computer may not actually have a good swim. My floppy emulator screen is not doing anything. The light is flashing, but the LCD is blank. What the hell? Okay. Well, that's... Anyway, so it turned out I was trying to organize all the firmware revisions, and I accidentally kept flashing it with an old one and didn't realize it, which was probably really frustrating for him because he's like, it should work fine. I was like, it's not working though. All right, hard drive settings. It's trying to load that disk, which is not bootable. I want it to load this disk. Now I have to restart the computer one more time. I'll wait for this to get mad at me. All right, let's see what happens. That's really weird. That one, the LCD isn't working. Interesting. So it is actually looking at the Macintosh image though. Like the floppy drive, the floppy emulator is blinking. So it's like it's trying to read from it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disconnect the drives and see, because I still think I can hear the floppy drive like seeking. And I have this funky feeling that, oh, crud, I just realized. That's why I want the BlueSCSI. I have to leave the hard drive plugged in because I need a terminator. That's the hard drive I hear trying to move, not the floppy drive. Okay. All right. Let's go to plan B. Let's grab the System 6. This wind chip is drowned. Yeah, it was actually, so here's the funny story. I was going through my eBay history because I was trying to remember whether I had a Mac 512 or not. Many years ago, I had a Mac 512 and I sold it when I was downsizing, which when I look around and see the piles of junk in my house now, I wonder whatever happened to that guy. And so I sold it, and then I bought a Mac 128. And the other day, I took the battery out of the 128, and then I got to thinking, I'm like, man, I don't remember taking the battery out of my 512. And that got me a little bit worried. So I went through my eBay history, and I've never bought a Mac 512 again. So I might have one that I got at a flea market or yard sale, because I feel like I have one, but I don't know where it's at if I do. 026036060. If I get this right on the first try, I'm going to go buy a lot of a ticket. Something I don't believe that intelligent people actually waste money on, but sometimes do. Well, nailed it. Bookmark. Just in case. Okay. So what do we got? Mac OS 6, 4X floppy disk images. What I want is that I can only download one per minute. So we need to get a really good one. And I don't know if I can do a 1.44 image now. Waste a lot of money on stuff like C64s. What is this install disk? I want a boot disk. System 605 beta 3. System startup. This might be what I want. Let's see how big it is. 1.44. Well, this will be interesting to see how this works out. All right, so I'll copy that to my floppy drive. We will eject floppy drive. So we'll try this one. If this doesn't work, then I'll go back and get the install disks, since I have to wait a minute before I can download again, assuming I'm logged in. I think I am. Okay, so I got to turn this on. Open up this, go to disk emulation mode, Macintosh 3.5-inch floppy drive, turn the computer back off. Actually, while it's off, I'm going to plug the mouse in. Okay, turn this back on. Okay, so now it's waiting for an image. So let's give it this one. It says it has an image, and it's getting red. All right. This will not work on this model. The latest installer to update this disk, System 606, does not work on this model. You need a newer version. Seriously? Come on. Come on. Why you got to be that way? I didn't think 606 was going to be that old. But at least we have a functional workflow. Well, swim is the super. So if you don't have a swim, you just have an IWM. So the S in swim, some people think it's for Sander, which is Windows Sanders, who actually made the IWM, the chip. But The S means Super IWM, and the Super IWM is what went into the Macintosh Classic and basically from Macintosh Classic all the way up to the G3 Macs, which even though they were USB only, had SWIMs in them for a while anyway. And then I think they just went to sockets. But if you have a SWIM, it is a Super IWM, and Super IWM is what supports MFM. What I was going to say a long time ago, though, is since the classic board is destroyed, I think my plan is to take the SWIM out of that one and put it into my SE, and then maybe even put one of the 1.44 meg or super drives into the SE and effectively make an SE FD HD, because for that you need the drive, the ROM, or the drive, the SWIM, and then the ROM. And the ROMs are, I've got plenty of ROMs. Okay, so we need to find another image because this one is not happy times. So what do we got here? 608 install images. Okay. Is there any other 608s on here? I don't know that I've ever seen a 607. So this has a whole boatload of stuff in it. I want this one first. Gotta wait 10 minutes. I thought I was signed in. Okay. Sign in with that. Sign in with that. Remember me. Log in. Welcome to the Adams channel. I need to fix that. I really appreciate that this site exists and that it has these things, but it really drives me nuts that it has this stupid chat thing, fake chat thing. And what's even more annoying is I can't zap it with one element. Maybe I can at least get rid of most of it. Nope. Because then it comes back like a little jerk. Okay, so we're getting that one, and then in a minute, I should be able to get the other one. Hey, Gustavo, if you're still here, hope you're doing well. I totally missed your name. Saw that you popped up. Did I see that you're doing something for Arduino Day tomorrow? Need to find the boot sector and files for booting. That's not how OS X works. Oh, and it's a sit. Go figure. Okay. Or did I say OS X? This is an OS X, Mac OS or system. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then we're going to go into Basilisk. Go retro, Basilisk, classic Mac, Basilisk. Yep, only for fun? Well, that's cool. For those that don't know, tomorrow is Arduino Day. There will be a live stream on the Arduino YouTube channel. They're doing an event in Chicago, so I'm going to go check that out. And I heard there's going to be some news, which I don't, that's all they told me. There will be news. It's like, okay, thanks, I think. All right, so I've got this emulator, which can mount my local drive. So that way we can go in here, and then I can go grab this, and then we can find system6xsit. Put that into here, close this in case we need this folder again, which actually I just realized I will need the folder again because I don't have the thing. All right, so then now that it's on this hard drive image, I should be able to open it up with Stuff It, which is just crashing. Awesome. Okay. How did I get this to work before? Utilities, disk, Stuff It, Expander 4, This is not my favorite emulator to use. I have found it to be, how do I politely say, garbage. I appreciate all the work that has gone into it. However, it is so finicky that I find it very difficult to use, and I'm shocked at how much stuff I cannot get to work inside of it. Which is really frustrating because when I was using OS X, I had a Mac emulator. Was it VMac? I don't think it was VMac, but there was a Mac emulator on OS X that was unbelievably good, and I think that's the reason I'm. Okay, so it's not opening that sit. Perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Oh no, it keeps crashing. That's what's going on. No, no, it is running. Never mind. So is it expanding and I just don't see it? No, yeah, it's just not doing anything. Okay, cool. Okay, so that image won't work. Moving on. This is what it was like for me last weekend trying to get the SC to work. It was a lot of download this, that doesn't work, download this, that doesn't work, download this, that doesn't work. I was really surprised at how difficult everything was. That's all right, 48K RAM. It took me a while to sort it all out too. I thought all Macs had swims. And I thought all swims were 1.44 meg capable, but that is not. Well, all swims are 1.44 meg capable, but all Macs do not have swims. My biggest mistake was I was thinking that I didn't realize the Classic was the last all-in-one Mac for some reason. I thought it was older than that. I thought it was older than the SE30. And as I learned what the Classic actually was, I realized it's actually a lot better machine in some way. Well, it's a lot better than the SC. It's a little bit slower than the SE30. But come on. It is not write protected. It's just that the card slot has gone bad. There we go. All right, let's give this one a shot, see what it does. Okay, power on. And then over here, I have to go select the disk image, disk 1 of 2. Let's go back to this guy. See what it looks like. Compressed with something? Yeah, it's compressed with Stuff It. So SIT is usually a Stuff It archive. And then those get bin hexed, bin hexed, or MacBin. Yeah, it's MacBin into an HQX, which makes it more compatible to move around. This doesn't work. Well, this is 6.08. System 6.08 does not work on this model. Okay. Okay. I wish I could open up this archive because I wonder if the L stands for LC, which is the Classic 2 and the LC are the same computer. Basically the same computer. So I wonder if the L is for LC. What I was going to try is, I put it on the desktop. see if I've got anything that will open it. Nope. Okay. Okay. Well, that kind of puts it into this task because I guess, okay. So the next step is get BlueSCSI working so that I can boot this with System 7. Okay. All right, fine. Because we have to have the hard drive plugged in anyway. I don't think, I do want to try one more thing. I'm going to disconnect the hard drive. Because I think if it's unterminated, I don't think we'll boot at all. Because SCSI needs to be terminated, and I don't have a SCSI terminator. So I just want to see, will we boot without a hard drive at all? Oh. Okay. Nope, it's not even trying. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's what we'll do next, is let's fix my BlueSCSI so that we can plug that in and go on. All right. Put this to the side because I could use this later. Hey, RJ Helms, good to see you. All right. Wrong way. Let's put that over there. Undo this. Put this over here. Floppy. Okay, drive stack. We'll need the floppy drive later. I'm still going to try. So I guess that does mean this hard drive is probably toasted. Didn't we try to boot? Maybe we tried to boot the SE with this hard drive. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, let's move this over to here. And move this over to here. Happy weekend. I like that even better. All right, we'll put this on the ground carefully. And then we'll come over here. And so here is Mr. BlueSCSI. So this is what's inside of the SC that is working right now. Well, this plus an STM32 blue pills plugged on top, which I've got in another box. So the problem is I made a mistake last time I was using this and let the blue smoke out of this trace right here. So we need to fix that trace to make this one functional again, which seemed to be a critical trace because it's the power trace. Now, fortunately, this trace died, and in its death, it saved the Mac SE. So I'm quite happy that it died. I mean, that it gave its life. Not that I'm actually not happy that it died. That's quite a pain in the butt, actually. So where does that go? Does that just go to pin 3? So what I thought I would do is let's grab this board, which is unpopulated, so I can actually see it. Even better, it goes to the terminator. Perfect. Okay. So all we have to do then is yes. Oh, this is perfect. All I got to do, I see it. So it goes from this hole to this hole, and then from that hole to here, which is actually where I shorted it. So all we got to do is jumper or bodge from here to here on the back of the board, and we'll be good to go. That is perfect. So that is from here to here. Yes. Okay. This should be not too terrible. Let's get a decently thick wire. Can't use the bodge wire because this needs more than, I guess, you know what I'll use is I will just use a breadboard wire because this is thicker than what a trace was. I'll cut up one of these. Consumer grade, what is it? What'd you say? Consumer grade, real life, double jump, 3 years. I think we could have them today. I think it's a legal liability is why we don't. That's so funny you said that because I was watching a CU podcast the other day, and Pat Contry was complaining that the double jump should go away. And I was thinking the same thing is because I've started playing a new game, Kena, Bridge of the Spirits or Spirit Bridge. I don't know what the subtitle is, but Kena, Kena. It's a really fun platformer for whatever, I think because it's in the jungle. It totally reminds me of the first Jack and Daxter, which was one of the first PS2 games that I played. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying Kena, and just like is common in a lot of games today, you have to earn the double jump, which makes no sense to me. It's like, why don't you just let me double jump from the beginning? Okay, those two traces are actually connected to each other, aren't they? Even better. Okay, perfect. So we just got to get from there to... I could actually hardwire this if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to. This is the when I say hardwire, this sets the SCSI jumper, or whether or not the SCSI's terminated. Which, for my purposes, we could totally do that because it doesn't really. I'm not going to use it for anything else. All right, and then I don't have my wire strippers over here. There we go. Okay. So now let's get some tape. Okay. Just a heads up, there won't be a stream next week. I have a conflict. Okay, let's put this to here. This over to here, put this up to here, solder this into here. And then next week will also be a new Workbench Wednesdays, which will actually be a video that was a result of something that a member of the Element 14 community a member of the Element 14 community made and sent me. I did a video on it, on his project, which I thought was pretty cool. And I may have actually shown it on stream once already, but I don't remember. All right, so where am I going? Upper left. Oh, okay. I still don't, this is still not short enough. All right. Anyway, so yeah, no stream next week. Okay. And then I want to double check one more time because I don't want to get this wrong. Yeah, it's that one. Oh yeah, go right there. Okay. Now I'll do a little left-handed soldering. And then we're gonna come over here. And then, oh, I just hardwired it. You know what? I don't care. It's fine. It is fine. I am saving this one anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. I want more blob on this guy. There we go. And then we'll cut the excess off of this guy because otherwise it's just going to short out again. All right. And then we're going to go. That was super easy. Let's do a quick double check that we didn't melt the insulation. That actually was not nearly as bad as I thought it could be. Or would be, I mean. Okay. Okay. Now I will. Don't get shocked from the monitor. Yeah, I'm watching what I'm doing. Fortunately, the case is designed such that as long as you don't expose a wire, it's almost impossible to shock yourself. So you still need to treat it with respect and you still need to be vigilant, but unless you go disconnecting the monitor cables, you're not likely to get a shock. So it's relatively safe, but it's not without risk. All right, and like I said, what I ended up doing is I've actually shorted these two pins together, but I don't care because I need them shorted anyway. So the only reason you would not short them is if you wanted to daisy chain something on the SCSI bus. So this one I just won't be able to daisy chain with it, or it has to be at the end if I ever do. Okay, so this way. And then I need one of these, which I've already updated to the latest firmware. That was super fun. I need something to drink. The Ori games? Yeah, I actually played through Ori on PS4. Doom 2016. Yeah, actually I played that on the Switch a while ago. That was one of the first Switch games I played, I think. It was actually the first Doom game I played in a while that I really liked. Okay, so, man, that is like super... Oh, I just broke the solder joint. Like, really? Well, I guess I'd rather do it now than realize I did it later. I should put some glue or something on there because that's probably going to be unreliable. But I'm only really trying to prevent. I've got another one of these that we can build up, and then I'm actually probably going to get the version 2 BlueSCSI, which is based off of the Pi Pico. And then, and I can't believe I'm going down this path, but I think I'm going to actually make my own because I want one that works as a floppy disk insert specifically on the classic Macs. Like BlueSCSI in general is a general purpose device, but I would like front panel access to the at least to the SD card slot, potentially to the USB. I think that's kind of a don't care. And then also I want an activity light. Even though activity lights on the Mac are kind of taboo or verboten, I think it's really helpful. One, because it tells you if there's an error, so that helps. But also just because since it makes no noise, you need some kind of feedback. Also, I've thought about putting a micro servo motor onto the board and then just have it spin around whenever the hard drive is accessed. All right, so that's on the right side. That's there. Okay, so now what we need to do is grab... I'm going to get a new SD card. I don't want to mix all this stuff up. And let's get one of these decent ones. Oh, is this my breakout board? That is a breakout board. Where is... That's a 32 gig. Oh, you know what? Maybe I won't, because we have to reformat and I don't want to wait. Yeah, I'll just do another 16. I guess the 1632s are probably both fat 32. I'm going to try it. It's just, this one is going to write faster from the PC. Where did I just had them in my hand. What the hell? That has got to be an all-time new. I put it in my hand and then I lost it. I don't know how that happened. Actually, I know how that happened. I'm an idiot. Okay, well, I guess we'll do the 16 gig anyway. Oh, here we are. Super riveting. Watching a static screen and a crazy guy talk at the same time. Let's do this. Ouch. Could have done without that. All right. So let's put this into computer. What's going on here? Put that into computer. And then let's go to this drive. Is it FAT32? I believe it is. It is, which I don't want to wait for it to reformat. So we're going to try without reformatting, even though it's not recommended. Do I have a System 7 disk image? No, I have the Mega Pack, which I don't want to use the Mega Pack right now. So let's do this. Let's go to Z:, data, ROMs, Apple, Mac. I think it's Apple Mac. Recommended images, vintage images, preload it. We'll do 701. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. 701, and we will copy that to the SD card, and we wait. That's only 500 megs. Okay. Oh, RJ, I totally missed your earlier comment. It's going to make you want to buy an SE30, isn't it? Huh. You know, it's funny. I thought I had an SE30. Like, I've had this SE for 5 or 6 years now. Yeah, I bought it when I lived in Florida. And for the longest time, I've used it as my SimCity machine. Like, I would have it on my desk and have it running SimCity. And I always thought it was an SE30. And imagine my surprise when I discovered last night that it was not. I was like, oh, okay. So we might end up working on that today a little bit, depending on how this goes, because I need to open it up and see if the battery's leaked yet. The battery is dead, which scares me. I think it means it leaked. But okay, so that's in. I'm going to power this over USB and just make sure that it powers up before we get to the Macintosh. No. Let's turn the soldering iron off. You may come over here now. Thank you very much. When you had a Classic 2 as a Tetris machine, I could see that. Yeah, actually, this Mac Pack image I found on archive.org is fantastic because it has like most, if not all, the major games that were released, and there's like tons of Tetris variation. But they're all sorted by year, which is a little frustrating because you have to know what year something came out, or I guess you could use find files, or I guess, yeah. Anyway, but it's just kind of interesting because it's like you can go look at like a 1987 version of Tetris and a 1990 version of Tetris and just see how people got much better with the platform over time. All right, so I plug this in. It powers up, and you probably can't see it, but the red light's on, that's power. Green light is off, which is actually good because it means that it's able to read the SD card. And then I tell you what, let's do one quick check. Every time it does boot, it loads it writes a log file. So let's see what the log said. I might not even, well, I guess I'll switch. It's one button. Just so we can get in, just to make sure that it's happy. Yeah, that should be good. Load, consider for exFAT. Yeah, I should do it as exFAT, but oh well. The file is fragmented. That's fine. Okay, so we're not going to get fantastic performance out of this, but that's okay. All I want this to do is boot so we can see if the disk drive is readable after we clean it. Boy, there's a lot of pre-steps I did not envisage. How long had I been working on the Mega? So the Mega was about 2 years total, and it is effectively done. I haven't put it into its final case yet, but it needs to go into the case, and I need to do a handful of soldering and a couple of tweaks, and then that will be wrapped up for version 3. I'm going to do a version for the PCB, but only after I figure out how to get SmartPort to work. But yeah, that was like a I mean, depending on when you start and stop the clock, but 2 years was basically it was 2 years ago. I said, so it was about this time in 2021. I said, we're going to work on this project now. And it was, late July of last year that I got Rev 3 to work. So effectively, I guess a year. Okay. Well, I guess that's only 21, a year and a half. God, I guess it was only a year and a half. I was thinking it was 2 years. Because I haven't really worked on it the last couple of months. So the last 6 months probably don't count. I don't know. Long time. But that was also for that, in that first year, I was streaming 3 and then 2 days a week. And the streams were averaging 4 to 5 hours. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that project probably totals, I know it's 300 hours. I know it's 500 hours. It's at least 500 hours. It could be close to 600 hours of effort. Well, actually, I think even 600 is probably about right, because that would cover when I wasn't streaming. Okay, so I'm going to plug this into the SCSI slot. Okay. And then we're going to move this over here. And those that don't know, the Mega project was, I took a Mega 2 chip out of an Apple II GS, and then we as a stream built a fully compatible Apple II around it, which was, I really enjoy using it. That's why I want to put it into its final case, because it has a USB keyboard, VGA out. The only thing it doesn't do that I really wish it could do is support SmartPort. And SmartPort is basically hard drive support on the Apple II and the Macintosh as well. But okay, I want this cable, but I don't know where it's going. Or I'll take this one. This one works too. Actually, I prefer this one because it's shorter. Which one is this? I don't want to unplug the wrong thing. I need to label these. That's what I should put on my small label list. Okay. Well, then where did this cable go? Oh man, I could have just used that one. Whatever. Okay, so we'll plug that in there, and I can turn this on after we plug this in. All right, BlueSCSI went flash, flash, flash. Now we'll see if we go boot, boot, boot. Don't like where this is headed yet. See, I think right now it is trying to find the floppy disk that's not there. Yeah. Which is super frustrating, because then it means you have to have a functional floppy disk to get these things to boot. So, or it could mean my SCSI interface is bad, which is I guess a totally viable. condition. All right, I plug the floppy drive back in. No. So why isn't it booting off this hard drive then? You know what this means? It means I need to open up the SC and make sure that this BlueSCSI is working. The other thing we could try is I could try to take the floppy drive out of the other. Oh, or we could take the floppy drive. Okay, that could be the other thing we can do. Because I do know one of the floppy drives in the SC has to be plugged in order for it to work. So I assume that its floppy drive electronics are working. This fan needs to be replaced. The bearing sounds terrible. Come on. Yeah, not too bad for 2 years on the mega project. And that's why I say it kind of depends, because there was about a year before that is when I was redrawing the 2GS schematic, but that turned out to not really get me a lot of the information I needed. So I could say that's why I could say it's almost 3 years, depending on how you count. But I went from not remembering how to even reboot an Apple II to now I know a handful of the C switches or soft switches, I call them C switches, by heart. And I've been doing assembly programming before I log off every night, which isn't really going that well, but that's a me problem. Okay, I got one more thought. I wonder if we put the floppy EMU in, if that will satisfy its desire to find a floppy drive. It seems weird to me that these things won't boot unless it can find the floppy drive. That seems like a big mistake. So maybe if it can find the external floppy drive, it will boot. Which it did find this floppy drive earlier, didn't it? Uh, 68K. The Mega 2 is 128 because it's got both the primary and aux 64K banks. The plot thickens. It's not booting it's not booting from the hard drive at all. Crap. Okay. Okay. So here's what we're going to do now. I am going to open up the SC and either pull the BlueSCSI out of it or put this one in that one and make sure that this BlueSCSI image will boot. Because now I'm starting to think there's something wrong with the SCSI controller on this computer. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to disconnect this. I had the terminations on, right? Yeah. I know for certain it is terminated now because I hardwired it. Okay, I'll put this over here. We shall bring the SC back to here. And let's do a little bit of case cracky. All right. Okay. So let's see. We need screwdriver bit. See how this goes. Undo this one. Undo this one. Hey Siri, what time is it? Okay. Hey Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes. Sorry if that just, I apologize. I should have, nice. That was loud. Apologize. I should have muted it when I said that, shouldn't I? Well, in 30 minutes, if I don't hear my thing go off, you guys can, somebody else can remind me. Come on, let's go this way. Let's see how this works out. Okay, and then I'll try and do a little bit on this one. And pop. Okay, are we loose yet? Yep, sweet. Okay, so both of these are falling out. Okay, you're out of there. Let's get my screws before I lose them. Put this over here. Screw 1, screw 2, screw 3, screw 4. Looking good. Oh, good. My RAM for this computer just arrived. Huh. I was hoping it would come yesterday, but fine. Whatever. Okay, so I was talking about before. So if you look right in here is where the BlueSCSI is at. And I have it mounted on a 3D printed bracket to the back. So that's really nice. I would really prefer not to take it out of there, but such is life. What I'm going to try is we're going to remove this SCSI cable. Okay, it came out. It's not screwed in, so it's not a big deal because it just pops in and out. I just didn't want to remove it. Come on. He says as he struggles to get it to come out. Jeez, come on. Okay, that's not coming out. that is not coming out without me undoing the screws. Okay, so let's do this. Let's plug this one into this computer and see if it will boot. Now this computer will boot System 7, but with 2 megs of RAM, it just gets really pissed off. But at least we'll know if the SCSI drive is working. If this BlueSCSI is working, is what I mean. Okay, so flip this around. And then same thing, we'll plug the mouse in. And then we'll get our power cord, which is currently off. Plug that in. Turn that on. That will be safe right there. Flip this switch and hold on to your butts. All right. What does this say now? Because if this doesn't boot, then... Well, actually, I'll be more frustrated if this does boot, because then there's something wrong with the BlueSCSI, and I don't know what. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's not what I expected. So what is wrong with it? Like, what is your problem? Shut down. Okay. Let's do format. Let's try a quick format of exFAT. And then if this doesn't work, then I'll do a long format. But I have a feeling this is related to this should be booting. This should boot. Okay. All right, let's eject that. Okay, we can take this out. I'll put this into here. Switch to here and try this again. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe there's something else on this card or on that board that is burned out. Ooh, it's flashing big time. It can't read the card. I'm gonna wait for OS X or Mac OS. I'm gonna wait for the BIOS to dump. Okay. All right. The other thing I can do too is I can take the SD card out of this other one and just see if it's a SD card related problem. No. What am I doing? Okay. Let's see if we got a log this time. No log. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to format the long format as much as I don't want to. And while that goes, I'm going to make the assumption that the floppy drive is okay. So I'm going to pull this, get this out of our way. We're going to start taking the floppy drive apart. All right. So let's get this over here. Let's go back to overhead. And that should be good while I'm thinking about it. Let me ground myself. Actually, we're going to do this without grounding because I don't want to be grounded while that case is open. All right, so how do we get the floppy drive out? Just these screws, I think. There it is. Okay. Okay, 1, 2. This will be number 3. This will also make things a little bit easier because I won't have the big hard drive attached to it. 4. Okay. Now I can pull this. Okay, so that comes through this way. I'm probably going to need this later. Snap, snap, snap. And put this over here because, oh, one thing I was going to try. Does this say on here? Can't tell if this is a 20 or 40 gig or megabyte 5 gig. Yeah, that was good. Okay. So here is the spring. Wait, that's not the spring I'm thinking of. Spring I'm worried about. Is it missing? Isn't there supposed to be a spring on the head? I don't see how the head gets tension. Or is it different on this one? Okay. I don't know if the eject mechanism works. Where's a disc? Should grab a 1.4 meg, but I don't know where any are. So does it go in? Oh, I meant to put these into a bag. Let's see how this works out. Floppy. All right. So this goes in like this. Ah, I didn't mean for that to go in. Shoot. Because I don't know where the eject mechanism is. Is it this one? Okay. Thought the head had a spring on it though. Where is the hole? It's on the right side. Is it? It's not there. Is it just that thing right there? No. need this. Is this it? No. It can't be that far back. Is it? Do I just press on this? Oh. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay. So that. Okay. But it's still getting stuck on something. Okay. Yeah, and like, oh, there it goes. Okay. So this goes in, that comes down, this goes until it ejects it. Duh. All right. The problem is I don't know where you're supposed to lube this at. This is a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Those are the rails. How do we get to those without... Okay. I think what we're going to try for now is I'm going to clean the heads as best as I can. I'm going to blow out as much dust as I can. And then I'm going to put a little bit of lube where I can. But I can... This is not... I thought this was going to be a little bit easier to take apart. But then again, I was also looking at diagrams for the 800K. I'm just kind of looking around. I'm not sure how to get to that sled. And I think, I don't know. What I'm afraid of is I want to be careful because I don't have time to take this entirely apart and put it entirely back together today. So I want it to try to be as close to a functional state as I can make it. If that makes sense. So step 1, cleaning the head. Oh, that was kind of stupid because I'm going to blow air through it anyway. Did the floppy drive spin? I don't know. I couldn't see this side when it was powered. So when we turn the computer back on, we'll be able to see a little bit more about what it was doing. But I could hear the stepper motor move, but I don't know that I heard the drive spin. So hold on a second. Let me turn the fan or this. Okay, so now I'm going to re-clean the head. How Sony held the market on the magnetic media. Yeah, no kidding. They I mean, they really the only reason we to my opinion, the only reason Blu-ray words are hard. Blu-ray won the whole the optical media stuff was because Sony was behind it. Now, granted, a big part of it was Sony Pictures, but still, these guys have totally dominated storage media for, I don't know, ever. Did they make records? I don't think they did. Did they? Did they make tapes? I guess they had the Walkman. Yeah, okay, that was kind of a dumb point. All right. Like I can see. I wonder how much this old gunk is going to come off without me taking the head out. It's a little bit liquid still. Look, not liquid. That's not. It's movable, pliable. I need to get to that gear. I'm just afraid to take that head out because then we have to realign the track 0, which we may have to redo anyway. But my plan had been to dab that with a bit of grease. Laserdisc. Ooh, I always forget about Laserdisc. When I was a kid, we rented a Laserdisc player, and my father got a Woody Woodpecker disc for my sister and I to watch. And in order to limit the amount of time we watched it, he cleverly and quickly he put the disc in. It started to load, and then said, "Wait a minute." Turned it over, or took it out, turned it over, put it back in. And I asked what he was doing, and he said, "Oh, it read the first side, and now we'll read the second side." I was like, "Oh, okay." It was a long time before I realized he was just making it skip a big part of it so that we would think that the movie was over. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. That's what he did." He didn't magically read in the entire movie and then play it out of some kind of memory or something. He just wanted to hurry up and watch whatever it is he rented, which was kind of clever. I didn't know any. It took me, I don't know, 100 years to realize. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to take you, and I'm going to... So Keg, when they sent me the deoxit stuff, sent me this lube, which has deoxit inside it or built into it. And the idea is it will help to reduce oxidation on whatever rails you put it on. Ideally, we should take this apart and clean it, but I don't, like I said, I don't have time to do that today. I wanted to see if we could at least get this to at least kind of work, and then I can take it all apart later. I can't get that in there, so that's just gonna have to wait. Okay, almost done formatting. And then the eject mechanism is right here, but again, I don't want to take that out yet. Again. I guess you know what we could do. I just thought of this. What we ought to do is pull the drive out of the Classic. And if it doesn't work either, then just tear that one apart, because there's a really good chance that that one's not salvageable. I'm confident that that computer got exposed to water. But I might actually take that one apart as a test. I like this idea. Is it cheap yet to get a BlueSCSI drive connected to a Windows rig? Cheaper to get a buy old Power Mac to get it? What do you mean by BlueSCSI? The 8-track was RCA. Oh, was it? That actually sounds more correct, because I was thinking 8-track was an American standard. All right. So the other thing I was thinking is, well, it doesn't matter. I don't have a boot disk for this anyway. So the next step is get the Mac to boot from hard drive, copy something to it onto the floppy, and then copy it back off. Oh, double height drive with hot swappability. Wow. I mean, I don't know that SCSI, I don't think something like a SCSI drive is going to get cheaper. I mean, they're not made anymore, right? And so the prices are just going to go up. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing I was thinking is the switches, but I don't see a way to get to their mechanism. But what we can do is let's activate them a couple times. Not sure which one of these is which. Maybe I don't want to do this. I'd really like to get in here with some deoxit, but these switches are so darn small. I'm not sure how we can do this. Got to give that a little bit of thought. Okay. All right. Format is done. Cool. So let's switch gears and put this. We're going to go here. We're going to go Z : data, ROMs, Apple, Mac, BlueSCSI, vintage images, pre-installed, SCSI 7. Then we're going to take and copy that to F:. See how this goes. That's interesting. This time it's like going fast and then slow, fast and slow, fast and slow. Something about exFAT must allow it to cache different. All right. So then just double check. That is there. Let's eject that. So what I'm going to do for the moment is I'm actually going to put this back into the SE because in theory, I know that this one can boot from a BlueSCSI if the BlueSCSI is working. And then assuming that this pretends like it works, then we will put it back into the classic. Because the other thing I can try doing is swapping the SD cards and see if the previously working SD card works on this board if this fails. All right. So the plan is I'm trying to get this BlueSCSI emulator to work. Once we're boot off of that, we can put it back into the classic. And then again, my goal is to get into System 7 or 6, I don't care, so that we can do stuff with the floppy drive. All right. So this time it's not flashing excessively, which is a good sign. But it's not booting. Crap. So this unit must be bad. Okay. So the next thing we'll try is I'm going to take the SD card out of this one. And I'm going to pull the card that's in there right now. If I can find tweezers. These will work. Oh, come on. Okay. So I'm going to put my working image into this BlueSCSI. Let's see if that boots. And if that doesn't boot, then I'm going to put the other card into the other BlueSCSI and see if that one boots. And if that one boots, then I'm going to pull it out of here because that is really frustrating. That didn't power up. Okay. Um, something's still wrong with this board. Okay. Shoot. Because now it's not even powering on. I wonder if there's another trace or something that is damaged. Okay, so that works. That works. So then why doesn't this work? Okay, that worked this time. I'm nervous about this. And C, D, and E, yeah. I don't even want to say playing C and D. That's just confusing. Okay, so there is definitely something wrong with this one because I see the light flashing, but we're still not booting off of it, which I don't understand why. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to disconnect this one completely. I wonder what I did to it. It must be burned up somewhere else. I'm going to plug this SCSI cable back into the old one, which was working just fine before we went down this whole path. I showed at the beginning of the stream, this computer would boot. And then I'm going to put my new card, let's go for broke, into this one and see if it boots. If this fails, then something really weird is going on. Okay, so this one is claiming it's flashing as if there is no SD card inserted. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, it's definitely in there. Nope. Okay, that's a red flag. So this card won't work in two of them. Let's put my old card back in and see if it'll boot now. Sweet. That one won't boot now either. Okay. So I've got this funny feeling these are going to be blank when I look at them. If this one is blank, I'm going to be super actually irritated because I've done a bunch of stuff on it. No, not blank. And it's initializing. So then why aren't you loading? I don't understand. What is your problem? What would be wrong with this? It is definitely in there. Blink, 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 blink. Well, that's kind of disappointing. Can't get the USB port in there. Okay, so when powered by USB, it loads fine. So then what is going on? What did I forget? All right. Well, shit. So the computer that worked fine no longer works. The computer that wasn't working isn't working. Not sure what to do. I mean, there's nothing to, there's nothing else I can. I get this is a long shot. I'm going to power this by USB. Okay, so it's not consistent. This time it didn't boot. Oh, because the card's not in. That's fine. The only thing I can think is there's a power issue. So right now I'm powering the BlueSCSI by USB, and it's also connected to the 5 volts of the computer. But I want it to go this way because that means the BlueSCSI is completely booted. Weird. This is very weird. So all of a sudden it can't power by SCSI anymore? I wonder why. Yeah, it won't. It's not resetting correctly. That's the problem. Oh man, this is going to be super bad. I don't understand why this is a problem now. Because if it's not going to work out of a power cycle, that's an issue. Wow. This is brand new. This had not been a problem until today, and I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing. And if this doesn't work, then I'm going to move on because at least I know what's going on. But this is weird because I don't know why it's doing this. So I'm going to try powering the BlueSCSI from the Molex connector and see if that works better. Well, I was going to, except I don't see my Molex adapters. This will work. Because I don't know what else to try. But basically what's going on is at startup, the BlueSCSI is never finishing its initialization. But if I reset the BlueSCSI, it works fine. Or if I power it externally and then turn the Mac on, it works fine. Either way, that's not usable. I don't know why, and it didn't, but it wasn't doing this before, which is why I'm really confused. Yeah, it's still doing it. I don't think it's yeah. Okay, regardless, I don't really care. So we're gonna, I don't, that's not the problem I want to, this is not the problem that I wanted to solve today. So let's go back to this other one real quick and see what it's doing. And see if this is, if it's doing the same thing, I just didn't realize it. All right, so we'll power that, plug card. Oh, that's the other thing I could have tried is I should have put this card into there. Oh, well. All right, so I'll put this card into this one. Let's turn this on. So this one boots. The BlueSCSI booted. I don't know what the Mac is going to do. Okay, so it's not reading. Okay. Well, that's problematic. All right. Measure the 5-volt on the SCSI. Yeah, I mean, I can. It's just, I mean, I can see, just visually, I can see from the LEDs, it's pretty stable. And the fact that the other board boots correctly also suggests that it's stable. And the fact that it worked fine for the past week also suggests that it was stable. So let me check on something real quick. Okay. Okay. They have a polyfuse? No. The Mac doesn't have a polyfuse. I don't know that they even were around back then. So okay. Well, I don't think I'm gonna bother doing anything else. Yeah. So this one is clearly not still, this one still has trouble. It won't boot or do anything in this computer. Okay. This one now has a problem. So, okay. All right. Give it a shot. Oh, well. So thanks for coming by, guys. Like I said at the very beginning, this was a total bait and switch because I realized we weren't going to do what I thought we were going to do. And boy, we got to a point where I now have less functional computers than when we started. And that has me really irritated. So, all right, guys, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you hanging out. I'll catch you later. Bye.